Leo stood on the observation deck of the diplomatic cruiser, watching the ringed planet rotate slowly below. 5 years had passed since the Battle of Keswick Prime, 5 years since humanity had proven itself in the galactic arena. The scars on his left arm still ached in cold environments, a permanent reminder of plasma burns and desperate combat. Captain Chen, the Xylothian delegation is requesting your presence in Bay 3. Anna's voice crackled through his comm. His second-in-command had been with him since the war, and she knew better than most what this meeting meant. On my way, Leo replied, straightening his uniform. The metals felt heavy today. The docking bay hummed with activity as he arrived. Anna waited by the airlock, her tactical scanner still strapped to her hip. Old habits from their combat days. Her short dark hair was streaked with silver now, though she was barely 30. Nervous? She asked, a slight smile playing at her lips. Should I be? The Xylothian matriarch doesn't usually make personal visits, especially not to... The airlock hissed open, cutting her off. The Xylothian honor guard emerged first, their crystalline exoskeletons reflecting the bay's lights in rainbow patterns. Then she appeared. Matriarch Vexithara was 7 feet of elegant, controlled power. Her chitinous armor had deepened from violet to a regal purple, and ceremonial ribbons now adorned her 4 arms. But Leo recognized her immediately, those same compound eyes that had stared up at him from the mud of Keswick Prime, filled with pain, and something humans had only begun to understand as gratitude. The matriarch's entourage stopped. For a long moment, she simply observed Leo, her mandibles clicking softly in the Xylothian way of processing emotion. Do you remember me, human? Her voice resonated through the translator, but Leo caught the harmonics beneath, the Xylothian equivalent of trembling. Every day, Your Majesty, Leo said simply. Anna glanced at him, surprised by the raw honesty in his voice. The matriarch's guard tensed, but she raised one clawed hand. Leave us, all of you. Your Majesty, her chief of security began. I said leave. Her tone brooked no argument. As the Xylothians filed out, she looked at Anna. You may stay, Commander. You were there as well. Anna's eyes widened. You remember? How could I forget the 2 humans who saved their enemy? The bay fell silent except for the hum of life support. Vexithara moved closer. Her movements now graceful where they had once been frantic with pain. The battle was lost, she began, and Leo could hear the memories in her voice. My flagship destroyed, my guard dead. I had crawled into that crater to die with honor, as is our way. And then, she looked directly at Leo. You appeared, a human soldier, bleeding from a dozen wounds, carrying medical supplies you desperately needed for your own people. You were dying, Leo said. That seemed more important than which side we were on. My people would have let you die. They did let your people die before you arrived with your strange human concept of mercy. Vexithara's mandibles clicked rapidly. Do you know what you cost me, Captain Chen? Leo tensed, but Anna stepped forward. We saved your life. You cost me everything I believed, the matriarch interrupted. But her tone was soft. For 3 centuries, I believed humans were weak, emotional, inferior. Your Geneva Conventions, your medical neutrality, your prisoner rights. We mocked these as the delusions of a species too soft to dominate. She reached into her ceremonial robes and withdrew a small object, Leo's old dog tags, stained with his blood and hers. When you stanched my wounds, when you called for evacuation for an enemy commander, while your own friends died for lack of transport, when you held my hand and told me in broken Xylothian that I would see my offspring again. She paused. That was not weakness. That was the most terrifying strength I had ever witnessed. Your Majesty, Leo said carefully, why are you here? Vexithara's compound eyes seemed to shimmer. Because today, The Xylothian Concordat ratified the Sentient Rights Convention. Because we have outlawed the slave trade that funded our empire for millennia. Because 17 member species of our dominion are now free republics. Because... She stepped closer. Because one human showed me that mercy is not weakness, and that has changed everything. Anna's hand flew to her mouth. Leo felt his throat tighten. But there is more, the matriarch continued. The krill swarm approaches from the dark spaces between spirals. They do not negotiate. They do not cease. They consume. She held out a data chip. I am here because my people need an alliance with yours, and I need to know. Do you remember me well enough to trust me? To believe that we have changed? Leo took the chip, but his eyes never left hers. I remember a mother fighting to get back to her children. I remember someone who thanked me in a language I barely understood. I remember thinking that maybe we weren't so different after all. Then you'll help us? Leo glanced at Anna, who nodded firmly. He turned back to the matriarch. Humans don't abandon their allies. And like it or not, Your Majesty, you became one the moment I pulled you from that crater. For the first time, Vexithara did something no human had ever witnessed. A Xylothian matriarch knelt. Then let our peoples face the darkness together, she said, and let them remember that it was human compassion that lit the way. As she rose, Leo extended his hand, the scarred one. Vexithara clasped it with her main right arm, careful of her natural claws. Welcome aboard, Leo said. Anna smiled, already pulling up the tactical data. Outside the viewport, the stars waited, and somewhere in that darkness, a new threat approached. But for the first time in galactic history, it would find humanity and its former enemies standing side by side. Because one human had remembered that mercy was strength, and one alien queen had never forgotten.